welcome to Was a Matrix. My name is Looney, and today we'll be assisting you with your final exam prep for Maths Lit. All you need to do to get your questions and comments through to us is search for Was a Matrix on all of our social media platforms, as well as hit us up on our WhatsApp line. The details are on the screen. Don't forget to download the 2Enable app for free on the App Store to take part in today's assessment. We've got a cool competition going on for you guys, so please stay tuned to get all of those details later on in the show. I'm not alone. I've got Nicolene, our favorite sign language interpreter, as well as our awesome teacher, Hayley. Thank you so much, guys, and over to you.
Thanks, Looney. Welcome, Matrix. It's good to be back with you, and today we're going to be doing some prep for paper 1. I hope that you've downloaded the app so that you can follow the question. Let me read the question to you. So the question says, it's a multiple choice question. Here are the marks of 10 learners who achieved for mathematical literacy, a revision class assessment out of 40. And the marks are 21, 30, 30, 30, 31, 32, 32, 35, 39, and 40. And they want to know what is the mode of these marks. A, the answer is 21, B, 30, C, 31, and D, 32. Answer them now, and in the meantime, we'll go on to the next question. So this question comes from the Eastern Cape, and it's an educator drove 383.5 kilometers from Kumani to Port Elizabeth. The car used 28.239 liters of petrol at a cost of 434 Rand 61. Now guys, there's a lot of information in that one little sentence, and we're going to break it down question by question, and we're actually going to look at what information do we need. So highlight those numbers, and then let's tackle each question at a time. So I'm going to just move forward. The first question says, calculate the petrol price per litre. So now I'm going to see what information do I need. Do I need the kilometers? No, I'm looking for rands, and I'm looking for litre. So I've got 28.23 litres and a cost of 434 Rand 61. So that's my rand and my litres. So I'm going to write those out. My rand is 434.61, and the number of litres I had was 28.239. I don't want you to round off any of these questions, any of these numbers, until the very end of your calculation. So if they give you 3, 4, even 5 decimal places, just keep them in your calculations. Right, now I want to know how many rand per litre. So I'm looking for 1 litre, and how many rand is that? Now when I do this calculation, I'm going to do it on the side here, I'm going to change colours. Okay, I'm going to take my 434 Rand 61, and I'm going to divide that by 28.239. Let's get our calculator out. So we got 434.61 divided by 28.239. Again, an answer of 15 Rand 39. So my answer is 15 Rand 39. Now guys, remember that money is 2 decimal places, so you must ensure that you have 2 decimal places after the decimal. Now we've answered that question. Let's move on to the next question. The next question says, determine the average distance traveled per litre. So now I'm looking for kilometers, and I'm looking for litres. So once again, I'm going to look at my text. So now I need my kilometers, which is 383.5. And the number of litres was still 28.239. One more hint that I have for you is if you can use the facts that they gave you rather than something you've calculated, it's always safer, just in case you've made a silly mistake. So in this case, we've been given the kilometers and the petrol, so we're going to use their numbers. And now we're looking for how many kilometers per litre. So I want my 1 there, my question mark there. Let's change our colors. So we're now going to take my 383 5, and I'm going to divide that by 28,239. Okay, get my calculator out. Clear the calculator. So I've got 383,5 divided by 28,239. It's also a good idea for you to get into the habit of checking on your calculator that you've actually typed in the numbers that you want. You know, in an exam situation, it's very easy to miss a number or to just type in the wrong number. So just check that what's on the calculator is in your book, and I press equals, and it's 13,58. So now my answer will be 13,58. Sorry, that's not rand. Try that again. It was 13,58 kilometers per litre. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Calculate the cost in rand per kilometre travelled. So now we're looking for rand and we're looking for kilometres. Again, I'm using the numbers that they gave me. So I've got 434,61 and my kilometres was 434. Sorry, my rand was 434. My kilometres, let's try that again. My kilometres was 383,5 kilometres. And now I want to know how many rands for 1 kilometre. So that's going to be my question mark. So that's going to give me my rand per kilometre travelled. Again, on my calculator, well, let's write it out first. Change colours. Okay, so now we've got 434,61 divided by 383,5. Get my calculator out. Start to clear again. 434,61 divided by 383,5, and I get an answer of 1,133. So 1,133. So it's 1,13 rands per kilometre. Hey, all with me? Let's do the next part of the question. Determine the litres of fuel required for a distance of 175 kilometres at the same rate of consumption. Now, we've done these calculations before, but again, I want you to use the numbers they've given you. So we're going to do the calculation. We're looking at the distance of the number of litres for the distance. So we're looking for litres and we're looking for kilometres. So our litres that we have, we used 28,239 litres, and our kilometres that we did was 383,5 kilometres. That's what was given to us. Now we've got 175, actually I'm going to change colours here. I've got 175 kilometres. That's want to know how many litres that will be. I'm going to write it out fully like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it as a ratio. So I write out the number above my question mark, and I'm going to times it by the second number over my first number. Okay, and for that I should get an answer. So let's go to the calculator. Okay, so on my calculator I've got 28,239 times by 175 and divide by 383.5. And we get an answer of 12,886. I'm going to write that to 12,89. And so it's 12,89. And this is 12,89 litres is what I need to do 175 kilometres. Now what I want you to do is I want you to actually check that your answer makes sense. So I'm going to show you how I would check this question. When I started, I had 385 kilometres and I had 28 litres. Now I've got a number that's smaller than the 385, so I'm expecting my answer to be smaller than my 28. And because my number was 12,89, I'm quite happy that my answer is probably correct. So I've done this little check. I also think it's important for us to reread questions sometimes to see that we've actually answered what they are asking. So in this case, they wanted to know the litres of fuel required for a distance of 175. So if I've got my answers in litres, I'm quite happy that I have actually answered their question. Right, then we want to know, the next question is calculate the distance a car would travel with petrol worth 675 Rand and 55 cents at the same rate of consumption. So I'm going back to what I started with, and now I'm looking for distance, so it's kilometers, and I'm looking for money, so it's Rand. So in my original question, I had 383,5 kilometers, and the amount of Rand I had was 434,61. Now I want to know what is 675,55 Rand, and how much is that in kilometers? Now I'm expecting a number that's slightly bigger than that 383. So let's change our colors, and we now have, we write what's above my question mark, 383,5. I'm timesing by the second number over the first, so 675,55, and dividing by 434,61. Let's get my calculator out. Right, so I've got 383,5 times by, that's not comma 5, see, you've got to check, times by 434, sorry, not 434, by 675, comma 55, divided by my 434,61. And I get an answer of 596,11. So 596,11, let's write that in there. It's not rands. Sorry, it's not rands. I don't remember what that number was. Go back to my calculator. 596,11. And that was the distance, so my answer is in kilometers. Now another thing to remember, Mathslit always has a context, so we know that every single one of our answers needs to have a unit. So they've asked me for the distance, I've given them an answer in kilometers, so we're probably okay with that. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Right, question 2 states that on a map, the scale is shown as 50 centimeters is 100 kilometers. Now we're going to use this information to answer the following questions. So the questions are write down the given scale in words, express the given scale in the form of 1:something, what would a distance be on the map? Let's do each one of these separately. So starting off, write down the given scale in words. So what then does the scale mean? When we have a scale, we always have one number to the second number. The first number is always our map. First answer is always what's on the map. The map or the plan, this is always the map. The second answer is always real life. And remember your scale, we're used to scales of 1 to like a bigger number, but it can actually be something where we reduce, and you can have like 2 to 1. So say for example, I was drawing an ant. I'm going to enlarge this ant, but then my bigger number is going to be on the left. Okay, so what does this mean in words? We now have that it was 50 centimeters on the map is equal to 100 kilometers in real life. Okay, let's see what our next question is. Express the given scale in the form of 1 is to ... Okay, so this is something that comes up very, very often. I've seen it in most of the last papers, so you need to understand this. So we're going to write out our ratio that we have. We've got 50 centimeters to 100 kilometers. What's very important here is that we always have, our scale ratio is always the same units. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert my 100 kilometers into centimeters. Now, I'm going to show you on the side here, I'm going to do it in a different color, just quickly how I convert. So I'm going to start with kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. I'm going to put them right here. I write out all those values from the biggest that I can think of to the smallest. Then I take a different color and I fill in 1 0, so I'm filling in from the right, 2 zeros, and then 3 zeros. Okay, and then I take a color, I'll take the same color, and I'm going from kilometers to centimeters. So I know I need to multiply. I need to multiply, and I put a 1 and count how many zeros there are. So there are 5 zeros. There are 5 zeros there. So I'm going to take my 100,000 and times that by 1 with 5 zeros. So we end up with 1 with 7 zeros. Seven zeros. Just want to check that I've got 7 zeros. So that, and that is now centimeters. And now I'm looking for 1 is to how many? So now a different way we can look at the ratio is we're dividing that by 50 to get to 1. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to divide by 50. So on my calculator, I'm going to take my 1 with your 7 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, divided by 50, and I'm going to get 2 with 5 zeros. So the scale is 1 is to 200,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 200,000. Remember, there are no units in the scale. Okay, I'm going to try to see if I can fit in the last question. What would the distance of 15.5 centimeters on a map represent in real life? So now we had our scale of 1 to 200,000. And we now want to know what 15.5 would be. And there's my question mark. So you're going to be taking whatever you've measured on your map and you're going to be multiplying by the scale. Okay, and we're going to do that on our calculator. So I'm going to take my, I've already got that scale number there, so I'm going to just times that by 15.5, get an answer. And now remember, I multiplied by 100,000, so I'm going to divide by 100,000 to get it back into kilometers. And it gives me 31 kilometers. Okay, it's 31 kilometers. On that note, I think that it's time for us to take a break, and I'll see you after the break.
Thank you, Hayley. Guys, we are going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll see you straight after this.